Benfica is a winners club. It's the most decorated club in Portugal with 81 trophies, having won 2 European Champions Leagues and 37 national titles. Thales has a great history of developing young talent. You might know this gentleman here, but for sure you know all these others that are coming through the ranks and graduated into the first team and that are playing today at the international level. Our purpose at Benfica campus is very clear. We are here to make dreams come true and to add value to the club. We want these boys and girls to reach a professional career, to play attractive football, to win trophies, and also to be good people. Having a look at our organization at Benfica campus, we have a youth sector coordinated by a general director, and then we have 4 departments working together to help these kids to develop. We have a youth football director that oversees all the recruitment and the bringing in of players and talent, a technical director that oversees all the development program that works in articulation with an education and welfare director that oversees all the residency program and all the education and the social support for these boys. On the connection to these, our sports project director oversees all the football schools around the country and around the world, Benfica soccer schools, and also develops all the education programs for coaches, both in Portugal and abroad. Looking at our teams and pathway, it goes from early ages, foundation phase with 6, 7, 8 years old, all the way through the first team. We benefit in Portugal from having a B team and an under 23s league as well on this important step to the professional football, which we call the professional development stage, which also plays the youth champions league. When we look at our map of teams, we start on the right with the talent centers, with the 5 talent centers dotted across the country, where younger footballers can connect with the Benfica way, with the Benfica methodology, with our coaches, and then get the first steps into our development model. And they play 5 aside, they progress to 7 aside, getting then a selection to move to our Lisbon unit, where we have the under 9s, under the 10s, 11s, 12s, 13s, and they progress from 7 aside to 9 aside. Moving into Benfica campus at the age of 13, with the under 14s up, we have the rest of the teams, not only at the youth sector, but on that professional and transition to professional as we saw. On all these big organization, we make sure that the player is at the center. With all this structure of support, we are fortunate for the club to have invested a lot of resources, not only from an infrastructure point of view, but also from a people point of view. But we want to make sure that the player is at the center and that the team is like an ecosystem for the player to grow and develop in.
Our main concern is developing individual talent. The player is our main focus, and we want to make sure it reaches the highest level as possible. We start with the player profile, the first step of the process, and with that player profile, we're going to work first in a more generic work through all the age groups, mainly from the U7 until the U14. Of course, we have to take into consideration the individual characteristics, but in this stage, and we're concerned about the fundamentals, the relationship with the ball, the principles of the game, the speed and the coordination, and it's important to make the toolbox, as we call it, as full as possible, because we're going to need those tools to to be able to work then after in a more specific work in terms of the position that we're going to use this player. And after, in this case, over U15 until the B team, we're going to more for work that is more specific on the position, and we're going to talk a little bit more later in terms of the player profile and the roles that player profile has on each position, to help the coaching staff and everybody that works with the players around on this project of 360. We have an app that includes all the departments in the areas around the player, and with the culture, with the how we play, the way we play, the Benfica way, the training, how we should train, in the methodology as well, the analysis and the video analysis and the scouting, how we manage the talent, and at the same time the social and the educational aspect of each of the players that are with us through all the steps of the development. And that's the very first step. Then how we going to develop that player? In all around this 360 development, we have to think about these main characteristics. And when we look at the player, we want to see this player in terms of maximizing his potential and his talent. We see a player with these characteristics. He has to be intense, quality with the ball, very good first touch, connection with the teammates, understanding the game, what he has to do in terms of the tactical aspect of the game. Is he comfortable under pressure? Can he go through different moments through the game when he can miss, and then after can get back in the game and do a fantastic game? Can he deal with the social media and all those ingredients, all those skills that we need to be able to work with this player to make him as possible, as better as possible, and as complete as possible. And also this important aspect of the play, which is the social aspect on and off the pitch. He has to be a good person in terms of what we want for Benfica player. Profile position and in the roles that we have for each player. This is a card for, in this case, the right back. We play in the system of 4-3-3. This is one of our positions, and we have attacking and defending, some guidelines that we want for the player. If you are a fullback, of course, you need to support and have a big dynamic on a side corridor, play in, play out, the connection with the midfielders, also with the wingers and the center back. Can he go and reach to the last third with attacking, with the penetration movements, with the crosses? Can he reach there? Is he able to do that? And also in terms of defending the 1v1, 2v2 duels, he needs to be aggressive. You need to win the ball up in the air, a good position on the field. He understands the game. So those are just a simple and clear message that we have for the players, for them to understand, and for us also to assess the players in terms of what you need to do on that position. And on these gray boxes that we have here, because these roles are connected with these boxes. If you need to go and dribble the ball forward in advance and across, you need to be able to pass, you need to be able to cross the ball. Those are the pillars that assist these roles in terms of the position. Is he intense? Can he work with the higher pace? Can he goes and have a good agility movement? This needs to work together, and it's how we work with different departments as one, and we try to make it as smooth as possible in terms of the work with the players. With that, we add in a second stage, this individual development plan and the player self assessment. The player do his own assessment, as we also do. I'm going to explain after the cycle, but these three main ideas of the individual development plan for the player, the talent ratings, and the performance scores. The talent ratings is what we also do in terms of what's going to be the future of this player, because he can be at the moment 15 years old, an enormous player, but he's already past that maturation process and is not going to be much more than this. And there's other situations when there's a 15-year-old player and he's not performing that well on the games, but we know he has a lot of potential. So the talent ratings in terms of the potential of the players, and also, of course, the data of the performance scores are extremely important in terms of what's going to be the individual development plan. All these combined, we have to go to the more practical aspect of it, which is the session. We need to combine all this information, all this data from different departments, different areas, the coaching staff, and also the player has an important part of the process. In all this information, all this work needs to go into practice. In terms of the cycle, the individual development cycle overview, yeah, the whole season is the annual plan. What we do, we have the player in the beginning of the season. We do an assessment with him, so he participates in this self-reflection, and we develop an individual plan where on different areas we set up goals, and those goals we're going to work out through a 12-week, normal 12-week weeks plan with the formal and informal feedbacks in session, in video analysis, and so on. It could be on a gym, it could be on psychological sessions, different areas according to the needs of the player. So it's important not providing them all for everyone. It's important to be detailed and specific in terms of what we want for each player, what's most important for each player. And after 12 weeks, we review the plan and go through all the process again. The potential ratings, we do it twice a season. In this case, now with the COVID, it's been a little bit different because we start after what we intend to, and there's some variation, but this is the normal plan in terms of the cycle of the development. Moving on to the more practical aspect of it, when we go from habits to the play, we have these two big dimensions. First, the game, then the training. In the game, we have the game moments, so attacking, defending, the transitions, the set pieces, and it's a more collective. So we work more as a group, and if we can divide it, the game moments is more integrated with the team, everyone together, the connections with everyone and with all the positions. And so the macro exercises, we have tactical scenarios. We could be more with a small group, a unit connection with, imagine only striker, wingers, or midfielders with the striker and wingers. So it depends on what we work on different players, and also the more individual work and more specific. And that relationship between the training in the game and the selection of which kind of exercises, it's the big challenge for us coaches, and how we can make it better in terms of the development of the players. We know we cannot make only sessions that maximize the individual, so only with one player, one or two players only doing that, and we cannot do only game moments, everything collective with everyone included. And this balance at the same time cannot only do the the small groups working. So the real challenge and the real key is to find the best balance between the all the team together with the small groups, with just individuals, and that goes not only with the tactical work, what we do on a field, but also with different areas and different departments. It's the same. We can apply it to everything. And when you move with more people working, of course, it's more complex. When you go to more or less players, you have a more critical eye. You can go more to into detail than when you work with uh, more people involved, of course. And that's how we can put it more into sessions. Either we can work the individual or with a unit and some groups, or with the whole team integrated to make sure. But taking the most important thing into account, which is the individual, the player. Uh, a board that we have in this case, I would like to show you. And it's the offensive midfielder. And when I think about Benfica, and when I think about showing some what we do in terms of development the talent, I think about goals. I think about creativity, magical elements that can distinguish from the others. And in this case, the the roles in terms of the offensive midfielder is that he plays good between the lines. He has a dynamic to attack the opponent. He can create, he can finish, including the assists, and he can score goals in terms of what we want of the attack. Uh, Defending, it's the positioning, how he can manage the midfield, and he has to be able to also press and recover the balls in the midfield. Those are the main situations in terms of the roles of the position. And we have here the role. Sorry, we have here the roles, all the roles, and here are the contents that we work with the players in terms of those roles. I'm going to have only two of the main roles. One is the link to create an assist, and I'm going to show you now a playing reference.